Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Ohio Wood Burner. My name is Joe, and this is a channel about our little firewood company here in Northeast Ohio. And today we're going to be doing some stacking and showing you a little bit of the grind of running a firewood business. I have a lot of land here, but it's just the way our situation is. My master plan was to have all of this as my wood yard, the production area, but where I'm at right now, it's really soft. It's almost surrounded by a moat, and it's going to take a lot of work with regrading this land to get it firm enough. We just had the one rain and the ground's gotten really soft. The big trucks can't get back there because it's just too soft in here. And I've just been dealing with working off of the pavement and keeping my wood within a relatively close distance to the pavement, so when the weather does turn bad, I can get my trailer off the pavement and not get stuck. It is early morning here, and this is just the way that I've been doing things, especially with this summer. It's been so hot, but man, we got some really good weather right now. But I'm just in the habit. I stack wood in the mornings, all of the hard manual labor stuff, and then I'll stack again in the evenings. Midday is for maybe running the wood processor or going out on deliveries. This wood I've just brought in from our lot up north, and I'm stacking it down here. It just makes it easier on me in the winter time. That lot up there, I can't get it plowed, and it's pretty inaccessible when the snow falls. So we'll bring it down here and I get it stacked up. This wood here is still pretty green, and it's going to be sitting here for a while. I found some free pallets, and I use pallets just to lay it down on the ground. I used to use runners, but they would sink in the ground, and pallets are just so much easier, and they're really easy to find for free. I guess with any business though, there is the daily grind, and it's nothing spectacular. It can become grueling or monotonous or boring after a while. I think any business could be that way. I don't think firewood's any different, but I think people could look at stacking firewood as the daily grind because it's just got to get done. For the most part though, I enjoy it, and it's nice. I don't have to belong to a health spa. I don't have to belong to a club to go sweat and exercise around a bunch of strangers. My daily workout is stacking firewood. It gets your heart rate up, it gets you the sweat going, and it's a good workout. And it's rewarding too, because I think look, when you get done stacking firewood, I don't think there's anything much better looking than a good stable stack of firewood. I guess though it does matter if you like what you do. You may be in a job that you really enjoy, and when I used to have a real job, I liked what I did, but I wasn't passionate about it. It wasn't like it was just a miserable existence. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that do hate their job. I could have taken it or left it. I remember a discussion that I was having with one of the guys I worked with. Now, he was a workaholic. That's all this guy knew how to do was work. And like I said, I liked what I was doing, but I could take it or leave it. We were saying, it was like on one of these days when the Powerball was up to like $99 billion. And so you have the discussion, if you won the lottery, would you keep working at your job? And he was like, oh my God, yes. He says, I just love what I do. I have to work. There's no way I could just sit down and retire. I like working here. He says, I would be in the work the very next day. And he asked my opinion. I says, Bud, you would never see me again. I would be so far gone, you wouldn't even know who in the heck I was. That is what that job meant to me. But let me say this. If I won the lottery today, I would still sell firewood. And that's the God's honest truth. I think it's something that I enjoy. It's fun. and you meet a lot of nice people, and I've met a lot of nice people on this channel. I would keep doing it. I would probably have a lot nicer truck. I would have a trailer that doesn't rust, but yes, I would absolutely keep selling firewood. We clear out the back of the trailer when we're stacking, and then I go tilt it up. If you were to tilt the trailer up with it full, all the logs will fall onto the ground. And I think the whole benefit of using a dump trailer for firewood is that you don't have to work off the ground. I forgot to charge the battery. I hope it goes up. There has been many times where I forgot to charge the battery. There's also times where I also forgot to put the battery in the trailer. That was real interesting. But you see how easy it is. You don't have to bend over near as much. It's good for your back. You don't have to reach in because the logs just feed down. And that's where I said, you know, having a dump trailer really adds a lot of help to your operation. So it should go without saying is I didn't win the lottery, which got me into firewood. It was a number of things. It was life events, it was circumstances, and some important things that happened along, you know, the course. So a business has a life cycle, just like you know, our lives on Earth have. There's birth, there's infancy, growth, maturity, and death. And businesses are the same way. You know, you have your startup, you have your growth, you have maturity, and then you either have rebirth or decline. And you know, I had kicked around this idea, and I felt pretty good about the theory behind it. I thought it would work. And there were two things that happened though along that course, and maybe this can speak to you guys. If you have a brilliant idea for a company, either firewood or anything, or if you had one but you gave it up along the course. There is the mechanics of business, which always was intimidating to me because I'm not like in the finance and I'm not in the numbers. I can spell numbers, but I can't factor them. So I wanted to talk to an accountant, and in this case it was my tax guy. So he's an accountant, but I refer to him as my tax guy because that's who does my taxes. I've had my taxes done by this lady for years, and she retired and she sold her business to this guy, and I only knew him, you know, for like 1 year, and I didn't have a good relationship, but he would have been my go-to to do all my, you know, taxes, all of the paperwork, you know, to run a business. His opinion mattered to me. And I think that was going to be the make or break moment for me. So I'm on my way to visit this guy, and I was a little early. I drove past a print shop. They, you would take them your documents, and then they would print them. You know, they did flyers, trifolds, they did, you know, paper print and electronic print. So I decided to stop there on the way to see the tax guy. And I told her who I was, what I was doing, my plan. I had a couple ideas with me for literature, and she was, you know, she wasn't rude, but I could tell right away she was making faces like she thought I was a joke. You know, this guy here is going to sell firewood. And I noted that. And anything that I had brought up, she shot it down. Her attitude was kind of like, you know, go away, kid, you're bothering me. If you get big, come on back, because, you know, we only deal with big accounts. We wouldn't mess with small accounts like this. And I remember leaving that business, and I felt like a dummy, you know. And then I was thinking, you know, I'm going to be driving now to get my ideas shot down again by this tax guy. And I remember almost when I was pulling out of her driveway, turning the opposite direction and going back home. and then just giving it up. But I decided to go on ahead with it, and I went to the tax guy. I wasn't feeling real good, you know, I didn't have a good experience at that print shop. But I went ahead and went to the tax guy, and I gave him my idea, and he was so supportive. He's like, Joe, he says, you go for it. He says, you have a plan, and I can see it working in this area. And he had a business a long time ago where he had sold stoves. So he had some firewood, you know, knowledge. And he was so supportive, and he just encouraged me to go for it. He said, don't worry about the paperwork. He says, it's not that big of a deal when you get down to it. And he says, it's not, you know, I says, well, you know, your services aren't free. And he says, he says, it's not that much money. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you how much he's charging me, but I was like, that's it? That is all? And leaving that, I felt like I could take on the world, you know, and that's how, you know, vulnerable I was in the startup phase of this business. And my message to you is protect yourself. If you know what if you have a plan, if you are wanting to start a business, you know, protect yourself and know who your audience is. You know who your family members are that are usually supportive, that are usually, you know, negative. You know, try to surround yourself with the people that will have the biggest impact. And I'm not saying don't listen to the naysayers, but know who they are. And usually there are people out there that have nothing good to say about anything, right? And we all know who they are. My point is, when you are in this position, be careful on who you surround yourself with. And if you do come across someone who's got a negative opinion on what you're trying to do, what's this adult skill that I've always heard? Listen, but ignore, right? So listen to what they're saying, but ignore them and move forward. If it's going to happen, there shouldn't be anything holding you back. But talk about a swing in emotion. You know, I am an otherwise pretty optimistic, confident person, and that just shows you how vulnerable that you can get. You know, when you're sharing an idea and, you know, you're that susceptible to someone thinking that it's a stupid idea, that, I remember how deflated I was leaving that place. And then within an hour, I'm back at it, you know, because the guy believed in me and he thought it was a good idea. You know, we all say that what people think about me is none of my business. But when you're starting out in an enterprise like this, it does matter. And all I am saying is be alert to what people are saying. But, you know, at the end of the day, don't let one person derail a great plan. But then, you know, talk about how things work out. So, okay, here I am. I'm up and running, and I still have print needs, and I found that I have a printer about 2 miles up the road. He works out of a little office in the back of his house. He is the nicest man. His rates are awesome. You know, on a almost a somewhere between professional and personal relationship with him. If I have a rush job, it's done by the time I get up there. So just think, had I would have quit, I'd have never, you know, made friends with this guy up there. I may have never even made friends with you guys here with the channel. So that's my story for you guys. The sun's starting to come up and it's getting bright out, and I've been gabbing a little bit too much. I want to get this wood stacked, and then I can go on to the next task. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me this morning. It's been a lot of fun. I still got some more stacking to do. Don't forget, we post videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and we have our new logoed shirts in our online store. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, guys, please hit subscribe. So that's all for today. Everyone, have a great day.